was a big interview over the weekend. Do you think your in-laws could set you up?
They could, absolutely.
Isn't it?
It does happen, yes.
If someone breaks with a chick 1 year into marriage and 13 years down, the woman comes and talks a lot of vibe about it, and the interview is done by a brother.
Give me some context.
The context is that my friend Robert Bradley was invited on a podcast before.
I've been reading a fair bit about it, yes.
Yes, and then he was asked about his failed marriage.
Right.
And the gentleman said, of course, most of my problem is that I had an issue with myself and I didn't rise up to the occasion.
Right.
Very humbly, not saying divulging into so much things be.
Yeah. Not getting into too much details.
13 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. So the gentleman said, okay, now you've said your side. Let me invite the chick. And the chick says, oh man, this man was terrible. 13 years later.
13 years later.
Yeah, so I'm like, 13 years, you're interviewing your sister. 13 years later, and
it's just, it doesn't make much sense, eh?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me.
Doesn't make much sense. And also, it's one of those things where I feel like people should not necessarily, iron out their dirty linen.
In public. Yeah.
Keep it to yourself. But also, what did you think about the whole situation?
I think everyone has a past.
Yes.
And this gentleman has been out there saying, I had a dark past. He has
been openly vulnerable.
Yes, and he does his sessions called The Naked Truth.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about it, addiction to sex, addiction to masturbation. He's talked about it. And also he said addiction to, and he wrote a book, Mask Off. This is what I was and this is what I am now.
Right.
So now when you come back 13 years and say, my question is, kwani simukiachana achika?
Kwani alikuwa wapi this whole period?
That's my issue.
She was in it.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult conversation, Charles, because the problem with breakup has always been ascribing blame on the other party.
Yeah.
And it's something that people in a relationship try really, really hard to avoid. Because it takes two to tangle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It takes two to tangle. So by the time your relationship is coming to
an end,
it's not just one party. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's not the other party. And this is why I've always felt like it's important for people to keep it civil, diplomatic. Don't necessarily come out in public and say this person was a terrible person. You must have played a role in him becoming a terrible person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not one party contributing to the breaking of the relationship. It's both parties. 13 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. Listen. You must have played a role, an equal role in either turning that man to be the antagonist that you're pointing him out to be, or to be a good man. Or probably you found something different. There is, but do not come here and tell us that only this party played a role in getting our relationship to break up. It doesn't make much sense.
It doesn't, because I always say, if you walked into that relationship, and
you knew what you were getting into.
And it takes, the way you said, it takes two to tango.
It takes two to tango.
And you've realized this thing cannot work.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting for 1 year? If this guy has not touched you for a month and you said I do in charge,
the signs are there, the red flags are there.
Why don't you call? First of all, say you married me. Why did you marry me?
Yeah.
Brought me into this house. What is the essence of me being here? Then the guy says, "Oh, I'm not in a position to do this or this." And you call your friend and say, "This man has never consummated this marriage.
Yeah.
I do not think this thing can work."
Exactly. Honesty is the best policy.
Yes, and honestly,
and I think that also inducing an honest conversation in positions, especially when conversation is tense, when emotions are high, feelings are high, it is very easy to lack that rational perspective or that ability to be logical kind of goes out the window. And now people are, you only remember what serves you, but you don't remember the role that you played in damaging the relationship or, your character as well. So it's one of those things where you're right. People need to acknowledge that they also play a role.
Yeah. And 13 years down the line, whatever I did 13 years ago.
But 13 years changes someone.
A kid is a teenager at that time.
Yeah, a kid is a teenager at that time. But listen, this is why people need to go to therapy, or people need to at least appreciate the importance of being honest in a relationship. Because if they had been honest from onset, they would have realized perhaps this does not augur well with my man. This does not augur well with my lady.
Woman,
right? This does not function very well in our relationship. But it also appears that they must have harbored a lot of issues. They might have piled them up, swept them under the carpet.
Yes.
And now, when one is getting to that kuchoshwa, what's that? What's the word there in English? When you're getting to that point of exhaustion, in a relationship, then it's too late. There's nothing salvageable, and that's why you see people coming on TV, trying to make the other person look bad. It's because you have so much that is bottled up that you haven't had a conduit of outlet.
So I think what we can say is that if you dug into people's relationships past, people would be shocked. Yeah. And 13 years ago, you are not the we know today.
No.
You are still a young man running around the town and doing stupid things.
Yes.
We cannot judge you by the virtue of what you did 13 years ago.
Yes. And you can judge me by the virtue of what I've become.
Yes, now.
Exactly,
and I always think that when people try to drag other people down, there is something you are looking for.
And there's something you are lacking also. Wisdom. You're lacking wisdom.
Because it is always easy to say, I had an affair or a relationship.
Yeah.
It didn't work. We are two adult people. We met. This thing didn't work. And we went separate ways. Civil, mature, intelligent.
Yes. Yeah, but
when I start saying, I went to your emails, I found you're doing this, I thought you were not...
Insecurity. I think it's insecurity. One party has to be very insecure. When you start doing those things, and especially you're trying to get the public's empathy and sympathy on your insecurities.
And also...
essentially what you're telling the public is, look, this person did this and this and that, but you're in the same process obscuring what you did and what your role you played. And that's just, especially when it comes from one party, I think that there is a lot of insecurity, a lot of immaturity, and a lot of you want sympathy, just buying sympathies from people.
And I also think, apart from sympathy, is that if this thing didn't work for you, and 13 years down the line, you've not moved on, because naturally, if this man was the only problem, or the woman is the only problem, you would have gotten into a relationship. People break up, you get married. So if you also have not been married, for me, it tells me it's a red flag also. You are a red flag yourself.
Exactly.
Because if you are blaming this gentleman and you have never moved on to the next person, so what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? If you are that good.
What are you waiting? If you didn't do any mistake in this relationship,
exactly. You should be on the market.
What the hell are you doing it?
Some other Jama would have been swept off. Yes, exactly. So,
what the hell are you waiting for in the market? People think Kenyans are daft.
I think so. I think there's a handful of people who just they live in their own echo chambers of
they just
they live in their own illusionary world where they think they know everything. They can be able to judge people's characters, and they have never really taken time to be self-aware and understand that people are looking at you. People are observing your behavior. What you're saying in public, people will put to scrutiny. In fact, people might go as far as to now take a closer look into who you are as a person.
And dig deeper.
and dig deeper because they want to know.
Yeah. So I think what we need to say is that maybe people need to mature up, and when you break up, just break up. Be civil.
Be civil
Move
about
on.
it. Move on.
Move on. Life
Move
continues.
on. Listen, there is a lot of places that men go
Yeah.
when kameumana.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember back in my early 20s when it happened. I used to call my friends. We go out. And there's a way to let that anger out. There's a way of allowing your, that feeling of being let down, that feeling of nimewachwa. There's a way of just letting it go, but you do it in a civil way.
Yeah,
you do it as a man. You take care of business. You don't go out there, drying your linen in public for us to see. There's far worse relationship breakages that don't get publicized. So why should we be concerned with yours? And what are you trying to let us in on? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, also people need to be honest about how relationships work. The way relationships work is that it takes two to tangle, and it's never one party that has caused the relationship to break up.
Yeah. So I think if you were listening to us, our issue is that if you are in a relationship, do not, and you've broken up with your partner or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you're dating, please do not go shouting on the top of mountains telling us, oh, this man has done or this woman has done. Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
It is not in our space.
It is not in our interest as well.
To know
we wish you all the best.
Yes.
Just like we wish the other 2 million people who are going through the same thing you're going through.
Breakups,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
How many, statistically speaking, how many breakups do you think happen?
Every day.
Every day.
Not less than
we can actually even narrow it down to how many breakups do you reckon happen in a minute?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Right now, as we are speaking, like 5 people have already been heartbroken.
Yes.
Okay? So understand that it's part of life. That pain is inevitable.
Yeah.
Disappointments are inevitable. But the way you deal with that inevitability is what makes you a sensible person in the community.
Yeah.
A sensible person in
society.
In the society. Oh, kuja hapa tu nalialia kinyoriro. You know.
Country.
Yes. And it's just so amazing to have someone as young as him to go out there, solicit support.
Yes, for his father,
for a good cause to help his dad out, and a few young people can go out of their way to help their parents the way this young man has. And you're right, he has also brought people together, not just in verbal support, but 3 million.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of money. That can pay hospital bills.
Yeah.
They can find a
good business to start.
A good business to start, and their hands having a sustainable way of supporting the bills that will come after. And I'm very happy with this. I'm very stoked for this young person. I think we should hang out. We should invite him here.
We should invite him here.
We should invite him here.
And the church, which Pastor Kinge's church did a good thing to invite the boy and actually offer proper support.
That is substantial support.
Yeah, proper support.
Proper support.
And now the mother can have something to do in the village, in Nyeri. For me, that's a great thing.
It's a great thing, man.
Yeah.
And I think that we also should appreciate that the church has played that role.
Yeah.
We often forget that, a while back, churches used to play that role.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days of Harambe? We don't see that anymore.
We don't see them anymore.
These days we see a lot of churches collecting, but we don't see the church playing that role of giving that it used to.
Yeah.
The church used to be a place where people went to get assistance, people went to get spiritual reprieve, people went to get spiritual nourishment, and so on and so forth. But now, these days, it's not very common. A few of our churches these days are more concerned with what you are giving the church and not what the church offers you. And it's very refreshing to see that what's his name, Pastor?
Kinge. Kiengei.
Kiengei.
Yes.
Shout out to Pastor Kiengei.
Shout out
for reminding us what the responsibility
Yeah.
of the church.
Fantastic. It seems people are talking about involving relatives into their affairs. When you break up, ukiacha, achika. That's our decision. Do not drag other people down. But now, something strange is happening in Semekombewa, Semelango. My friend, I have a good friend of mine called Gor Semelango. So when I meet him next, I'll tell him.
What's happening in that part of the country?
There's a bird. It's called the white ibis. It's found especially in areas where there's either garbage or where there's the fish remains have been fished and cactus are thrown in the parts on the lakeside. So Seme is in Kisumu in the lakeside, and I think this.
Is Seme the name that is given to the bird in Kisumu?
No, Seme is a place.
place.
In the place. So these gentlemen from Seme and ladies have decided that this bird can be eaten like chicken.
Have they given us a review of how it tastes like?
They've never given us a review.
They should
But
give us
I'm
a
so
review.
shocked that people are eating a white ibis.
I mean, listen,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So I know that ibis, white ibis,
Yes.
is called a garbage bird.
Yes, garbage bird.
Garbage bird because they usually slither to garbage and stocks. Where there is stocks and piles of garbage, you will find them trying to rummage for food. It's a very ugly bird.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it's known for.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, the question that I am... So what I'm thinking, CEO, okay,
Yeah.
is I think about our Asian brothers from China
Yeah.
who eat
Everything.
everything.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
White ibis is a delicacy.
No.
To a Chinese person.
No.
Chinese eat dogs.
Yes,
brother.
yeah.
They eat frogs. They eat snails.
So should we have then?
Kenyan version. Probably the same people have been hanging around Chinese folks, and probably they have decided to emulate
And eat white ibis.
and eat white ibis. But do you know what? The question is,
Yeah.
how does that? There are two concerns here.
Yeah.
Is eating white ibis? There are actually three questions. Okay, there are three questions here we need to think about.
Yes.
Number one,
Yes.
is white ibis an endangered species? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Number two,
Yeah.
is it good for your health?
Yeah.
Number three, how does it taste?
So many people say it. Let me start with the third one. The same ladies and gentlemen say that it tastes sweeter than the chicken.
It tastes sweeter than chicken.
Yes, I do not understand.
Listen, also pork tastes better than chicken, in all honesty. So I don't know how I feel about this, but listen, it's we should donate some chickens there to the people of Sem. If chicken is not available, we need to look at addressing a larger picture here.
Yeah, but then,
but in saying that, it's kind of those places where you find that you can't really reprimand them, you can't castigate them for eating white ibis, because the Chinese people eat nearly everything.
But you see, according to our culture, there are birds which are eaten and the ones which are not eaten.
It's not culturally stipulated. It's actually it's scientifically stipulated that there are certain birds that are just too filthy.
Yeah, you can't eat.
You can't eat.
But also in Nairobi here,
if a Muslim person decides to change his religion and he decides to eat pork, okay, it's not going to be harmful to the Muslim person. Okay, so do you actually? I don't think it's got anything to do with culture.
It's not. It's actually belief.
It's belief.
It's belief.
But there is no restrictions and limitations as to what we can eat.
It's a belief system.
It's a belief system.
But now, Nairobi people, if you're eating food, especially
white ibis,
something mtaani, the food which is dropped at home, chicken which are dropped,
you need to
cooked,
be careful.
You need to be very careful, because I've heard that even the marabu stock in Nairobi, some people have decided to be slaughtering it.
Is hideous.
It's hideous, and then they deliver for you as chicken. Please do not eat food you are not sure where it comes from.
Listen, guys, you need to go out and just Google images. Marabou stock. It's a very ugly bird, and it's actually a scavenger.
Of course,
right? So this is like eating vouchers. This is I don't know. It's
What are you saying?
Listen,
what are you saying?
If I find myself in a place where I am bereft of choices, there is no alternative to food. And Marabou stock shows up. Okay?
What are you saying?
Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm luring it in. I'm eating the damn thing. But listen, if I have options, definitely not going for it. But is it actually healthy? Is it going to harm you?
No, but
because there are certain animals we can't eat because they will harm you because of the toxins that they have.
Of course, Marabou stock eats anything.
I know, but is it harmful once it's consumed by a human person, by a human being? Right.
We are not sure, but what you are saying is that Kenyans must be very careful, because people are trying to do business, and Kenyans are trying to exercise their freedom of eating anything, my friend.
This is why sometimes when you go to Kibandaski, okay, and the mutura is so
sweet,
it's so sweet. It's like, where did you get this meat from? You gotta be because now if it's out there that people are eating white ibis as chicken, now the people of Seme will slowly but surely forget how chicken flavor tastes like because they'll have replaced their taste buds
with ibis. The worst thing, I saw someone who slaughtered it plus the head. How do you eat the head of that ugly thing?
It has such a long beak, Bana. But listen, once you've cut off the head, and you have cut the legs, you won't be able to distinguish it from a chicken. I'm telling you, you won't be able to distinguish it. They all look the same. They are just birds. But I would be curious to know whether it would be harmful for human consumption, because that's where I'd be a bit concerned for the public in general.
I think
but I know for sure that the population of white ibis
will decrease.
It won't decrease. There are too many.
There are too many?
There are too many. White ibis.
Yeah.
I don't know what the population is of that bird.
Yeah.
But if, listen, there are areas where the species gets out of control.
Yeah.
And people are actually asked to either kill them or eat them.
Yeah.
So, for example, antelopes.
Yeah.
There's a place in United States where there's just too many antelopes.
Yeah, so they're told
people are actually given incentives
to eat them,
to go and hunt them and kill them and eat them.
Yeah.
And there's another place I went to, too many kangaroos. You won't believe it. There is a road from Northern Territory to Sydney. At least 200 kangaroos are killed every day.
Oh my goodness.
So you see, the animal population can be too much. You need to think whether
you reduce them.
Yeah.
So Seme people, we feel you.
We feel you. We understand.
But please,
we're not judging.
They know.
Yes.
This on Friday, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, first of all, did something very interesting. He donated 10 million to Gor Mahia for administrative duties.
That's good. That's good.
And then he ended up going to hospital, and people have been talking that Raila is unwell. So it has become a health war. Whoa. What do you think? Why would people have a health war when a guy has been very public?
I mean, they're just taking advantage of the fact that the man is 102 years?
80.
80
years.
Yes. I apologize. So the man is 80.
Yes.
And at that stage, I think that there is a political stratagem here by Kalonzo and Gachagua.
Yes.
Of course, they are the ones who are trying to canvass the ODM votes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the best way they're trying to do that is obviously trying to say that Raila is incapable of handling business at his current age, which is 80. So on that, they do have a point. But I just think it's scare tactics from the political opposition. Okay? But in saying that, now, obviously, ODM have come out and they have said that this is not
the position.
This is not the position. Raila Odinga is very stealthy and is very strong as a feeble. This is what they have said. But I doubt that. I mean, Raul has been around the block. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with people having that conversation. It is not unusual. If he was in his 60s, it would have been a different discussion. But the guy is in his 80s. So, yeah, we are... It is expected that once in a while he should go for a checkup. Yes. Even if he goes for a checkup, I think...
It's an issue.
It's tradition. But the thing that you need to understand, Charles, is that the appearance of Raila Odinga in a hospital environment kind of creates or invokes that conversation of whether he's fit
or not
to lead the party, he's fit to continue being the kingpin in his region. There's so many questions that obviously arise because he's always been a strong figure. And so there are dire implications that come as a result of him appearing to be less feeble, okay? But in that being said, it's also expected. It's not unusual. Someone who's 80, go for a checkup. Or you would expect that someone who's at that age goes for a checkup on a regular basis.
I think and also I think Africans are very full of superstitions because people get sick.
Yeah, people get sick.
It's normal. We get sick. It's normal.
It's normal.
It's normal to go to hospital. It's normal.
It's very likely that you are sitting in your place of work with someone who's sick
and well today, and
someone else who is well, or someone else who's got a terminal
illness.
Yeah. So these things happen. But I think, one thing that you need to appreciate is his position. He's in a position of authority. He's in a position of power. He's a political figure, a luminary of sorts. And with that type of, pressure on you, there's a lot of eyes that are monitoring his every move. And especially when it comes to that fear of existentialism. But that's kind of where it gets a bit tricky.
But you see, what happens is that Paul Biya, the president of Cameroon, is 92 years old.
92 years old.
And he's vying for election.
I saw that.
Yoweri Kaguta, let me break it down. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that is 10 years older than Raila Odinga.
92.
12 years.
Can these people even see properly?
Cameroon now is under election, and the guy is being voted in. The other week when you are not here, we talked about a gentleman called Moses Ali, the MP for Adjumani. He's also 87 years, is vying for the seat. The gentleman who was seen eating some serviette in Uganda.
What do you think happens?
Let me break it down first of all. There are many African presidents who are past 80 or leaders.
Yes.
The others in 90. Museveni is 80-something.
Yes.
He's vying for presidency.
Yes.
So my argument has always been that ageism is not an issue to me.
But now the political leaders are making it an issue. And it's actually resonating with a lot of young people. This is something that you also have to observe. Which
I'm observing. But remember, the people who are making it an issue are also people who are angling for the vote.
Yeah, and they're not going to be there long enough.
Yeah, they're not coming with clean hands.
Actually, the hypocritical part is that once they are themselves elected, they will try and undermine that discussion of age.
Completely.
Once they're in power.
How old is Kalonzo Musyoka? 70-something?
Kalonzo is 70-something.
Of course.
Now, he's probably in his early 70s, but sooner
he's going to 80.
He's going to 80.
Of course.
But it's convenient for him
to talk
about Raila. Okay, because Raila is already 80.
Is actually the kettle calling the pot black.
Exactly.
And I do not understand it, why we should be so much fascinated instead of just wishing your fellow brother and sister.
But I think that traditionally speaking, right, and you're right about Africans being a little bit superstitious when
With
it comes
age.
to age. There is this notion that the older you are, the more experienced you are to handle, matters of gravitas, such as governing the country.
Yes.
Okay, so there is that superstition. It's very unlikely. In fact, Ruto was the first person, one of the youngest presidents
Ever.
in
Africa.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that what's happening here is they're just taking advantage to try and lure the Gen Zs to the younger population not to lean with ODM. I think it's just a political
But you see,
stratagem.
it has always worked in the negative also. Remember, the time Raila got unwell and stayed and went to Germany, he came back and galvanized everyone and even more votes on his side. Remember when he was away, when he went for, people started, Baba, while you're away. Already there's this fear. And the problem with Kenyans, the moment you show them that you want someone out, Kenyans will always defend that person. You know the way how
you become an underdog.
An underdog. So you give him the credence and you give him a lot of gravitas.
And someone with his experience, Raila Odinga has so much experience in using political temperatures to his advantage.
Yes.
Like right now, he's already observing that people...
they're talking about me.
You're talking about me being ill.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do a couple of rallies, Vitendawili here, Vitendawili there, and just sweep that whole notion that he's unfit under the carpet. And I actually won't be surprised if he runs again in 2027.
Remember that ODM has had two, and Shago was talking about them, Rigiji, that there's some people who say ODM should not be in broad-based government.
Right.
So now that talk, with Raila's sickness, it has gone.
Exactly.
See, it's a way to stop all the negative movement in his party. Just check yourself.
Yeah, it's a political card that he has obviously kept.
Yes.
And now he can flash it out. Distract you from what is happening within his circles.
Yes.
Look into this political luminary. Okay. But anyway, I wish him well. I don't think there is. I think it's just a distraction.
Yes.
He's well within his right to go for medical checkups. The man is 80. Allow him to
get sick
and be in peace. Do you know what I mean? We need to allow him to live in peace, just because of he's well respected as someone who has done his job in the public space.
Domain, yes.
So allow the man to live in peace. If he gets sick, so what? But I think it's just a political distraction from the Gachagua and Wiper. The question is whether it will work
or not. Yeah. And then when we talk about hospitals, last week, the other week we talked about a hospital being forced to release a body, and this week again, a new Vince
Admiral Hospital.
The guy is called Vince Admiral Okorondudu.
Vice Marshal Terry Okorondudu.
The body has been lying in
Aga Khan Hospital, and it's an issue.
It's an issue.
Because the implications of hospitals cowering to people is also a factor that we need to look into. Because, CEO, listen, as an hospital, you're conducting a business.
Yes.
You're carrying out, this is a business. It's not...
charity.
It's not charity.
Yeah.
Okay? And so how do we address that problem actually for the hospitals? Can we look at it from the hospital's perspective? Because it's easy for us to say that, well, there is a lot of ethical violation, there is emotional and financial stress, there is cultural limitations that we need to observe. There's all of that we might find ourselves in a place where we're only looking at the family's point of view, right? So but what about the hospital's point of view?
My argument has always been, and I like the way the judge actually set it in that ruling. He said that they agree on the payment period. And that's what lacks, because there's some people who are genuinely looking, they're not refusing to pay. They're saying, let me finish with this ceremony, but give me a payment plan. So for me to continue and offset my
But
bill.
this was a huge bill.
It's 8 million.
This is 9.8 actually.
Yeah, but they paid 1.8.
So
it's
they
8
paid
million.
1.8 now. Okay.
Yeah, it's 8 million.
Right.
So what they're saying is that the gentleman has been told to deposit all their travel documents because he's a foreigner.
Yeah.
So and after that, the body can be taken for military honors. And I find it a bit of a problem is that why don't you involve the Nigerian military to come and help pay for
Offset
their
the
person?
bill.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's a Nigerian vice.
And even
Marshal.
this is an issue that they could have taken to their embassy as well.
Yes, take
to see
the
whether,
embassy
to see whether the government
Of Nigeria, yes, can offset.
although governments usually try to, separate themselves from such business. The government is not usually involved because, again, it's usually about setting precedents. If the government pays for your hospital bill, then you'll see 100 other people coming and saying, hey, we also need your help. And so it's not sustainable. But my concern is, the precedents that the courts have set. Because, yes, indeed, people need to... from an ethical, moral standpoint, people need to bury their loved ones. People need peace of mind, and
people need closure.
People need closure.
Yeah,
and I feel like indeed the courts have a sensible way of looking. It's disrespectful to keep one's your loved one in a morgue for a
so
protracted period of time without sending them home. So, on that. From a moral standpoint, indeed, but from a business standpoint,
it's a problem.
It's a collateral issue.
Yes, it is. I agree, 100%.
See, if we give your loved one, then shall we see you? How shall we be able to collect our debt? Because it's unpaid bills. How this outstanding bill? How are we going to be able to collect it? And you know what? You might get into an agreement of sorts.
And then I default on it.
Yeah, you default on it. You'll just be, you know what I mean? You don't care. Sijapata pesa. Utadu.
Yeah, sijapata pesa.
So for me, I would like to see a sensible solution for the hospitals as well. And I just feel like nobody is actually looking from that point of view. Because if you're running a hospital and someone dies in that hospital and they've got a bill, you kind of want you want to be made whole.
Yeah, you want to be made whole and just forget about.
Although it's now a big discussion in our legal circles.
It is a serious discussion.
It's a serious.
It's a Pandora's box opened.
Yeah, it's a Pandora's box. Is it violating human rights?
Is it?
Do you think it violates human rights?
For me, I've always had an issue with hospitals because hospitals have not also come forward to look at a way where these things can be sorted, because there are some people who are genuinely willing to pay.
Yes.
And there's some people who are conmen and all that. But there are people who have come and said, listen, and I've seen it because when my mother passed on, I had to pay a lot of money. And I was telling them, I just need to go and sort this thing, and then we pay. But then later they came to their senses and realized, actually, this guy will pay.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who are saying, as we just...
For people out there who are listening to you, how do you demonstrate that you're in a position to pay? Because I would imagine that people take their patients, it's a one-off thing.
You see what happens when you take someone to hospital.
Right.
Number one, you have put a lot of money, and people spend a lot of money on health.
I know.
The insurance, first of all, you spend the insurance money. If the insurance money is depleted, you have friends who really contribute heavily. Yeah. The family sells a lot of property to offset that bill. Now, you can see these people have come to a conclusion that this is the most important thing in their lives. When someone gets sick, the most important part is to try and get that guy's health back.
Yes.
Period.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else
Everything
matters.
else becomes unconsequential.
And stops. And if in any case the person passes on,
yes,
The biggest thing for that family is, how do we send off this person because of what he was to us, beautifully and without issue and without drama.
Yeah.
So people try to work really hard to collect, to look for money to offset bills. And there are so many accounts which people set up.
Yeah.
And all that money is driven towards that direction.
But do you think it's emotionally sensible to put families under such pressure, especially when you have already lost your loved one? I feel like it's a bit cruel, quite honestly.
Yeah.
From the hospitals to put that pressure on you when you know that you're already mourning
you're mourning and you want to pay, and you've even brought
and you don't
the
have the funds.
You don't have the funds.
Okay, so you're dealing with two issues simultaneously.
Yes.
The loss of your loved one, and now
money.
you have to take care of the hospital.
And that's why I'm saying the hospitals must also
be sensible
and
right.
Emotional intelligence. And
so there has to be.
There are people and you said in Australia, people would look at you and know this one can pay, and this one, if you give chance, he will pay, and this one, bearing on what he earns, he will never pay us.
So what do we do to those families where you can see they have probably accumulated a bill of 2 million, okay?
Because listen,
but they have no means to pay that. And if you have done, because what you're talking about is going through that credit analysis.
Yes, you have to go through credit analysis.
Okay, we look at your credit worthiness, and if we identify that you cannot be able to pay, so what? Are you going to stay with those people's bodies in perpetuity?
Stay with people's bodies, and there are people who even leave their bodies there. So you have a problem of going to dispose it. There are people.
What about do you know a solution I would give, or probably I would put out there? What about people selling their organs?
You see, number one,
because if you're a family and you know very well, and tell me whether this is sensible, CEO, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're a family and you know very well that, okay, we're not going to be able to afford this treatment, but there's a document that we can sign that can perhaps, if the worst comes to the worst and our loved one departs, then we can give his body, donate his body for scientific research. We can be able to donate his organs and so on and so forth. And perhaps, or that might be able to offset some of the bills. But do you think it's a sensible way to do it? It's sensible,
but people and hospitals don't want that. Every day, every year, Nairobi hospitals alone dispose not less than 100 bodies unclaimed in mass graves.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. So even if these guys, there are people who you stay with that body for 1 year, you start telling them, because they don't have money. Chief, it's bad debt.
So this is a write-off.
It's a write-off.
And then you bury your loved one after a whole year.
Yeah. Because they will never raise that money. For my argument has always been, if you can't raise that money, get a way of trying to get the little you can and run. Kimbia. Otherwise, utachiwa mwili. So, will you eat it? You don't eat dead bodies.
This is very sad.
It's a catch-22 situation, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. Now, there's a story that I want us to come back to.
Yes.
Before we go on a short break from
the
news short break. And it involves corporal punishment. Were you in your Rochwood when you were a child?
Ooh, badly.
So there's a few people who have been frustrated with the Gen Alpha, and they're saying that there should be a reintroduction of the corporal punishment. So I was hoping that you guys can contribute in this discussion, where we're going to look at the pros and cons on whether we should return corporal punishment to our schools. Now I can see that Mr. CEO is already very objected to that.
I'm very objective because there are people. There are many ways of how you can deal with people, and some teachers were plain sadists. Some people do not.
They loved it.
Yeah, they loved it. People do not know how to handle other kids, and they do not actually. People are frustrated.
Have you realized that those teachers who used to kid us the most, those are the ones we remember? Yeah. I was actually just contemplating on when you were singing about summertime, that in Kenya you don't have summer, we don't have winter, we don't have winter. We just have a very moderate
weather,
climate, and weather.
Yeah.
When you go to places like Australia, there are places where it hits 50 degrees, 55 degrees.
Very hot, man.
Degrees Celsius,
oh
bro. It's very hot.
It's hot. It's a furnace.
It's a furnace. It's a desert.
Yeah.
When you go to places like Istanbul, in January, around February, it snows. Thick snow.
Yeah.
So you get frostbite. So that's when I realized in Kenya we have cold seasons and we have hot seasons, but we don't have
extreme weather.
We don't have extreme winter. We can't really call it winter, nor can we call it summer. I don't think we have gotten to that, and we should count ourselves very lucky. Trust me.
We are in a very good environment.
Being in the equator is the best thing. It's the best thing.
There are no extremes.
There's no extremes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the first time I arrived in Australia, I saw people throwing their slippers and bikes because they were all melted. Anything that was rubber was melted. And I was in shock. In my mind, because I was, culture shock, I thought to myself, why are Australians banning slippers and their thongs and rubbers and anything plastic? Everything plastic was just tossed away. And someone told me, no, it's not. It's because they forgot. You forget your slippers out there. Jioni unakuja unapata imechomeka imemelt.
Hey, my goodness.
But we were talking earlier. There's this conversation I wanted to draw you in.
Yes,
CEO.
about the Nini.
There's this lady called Christine Sheke.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a parent.
Yes.
And she has been trying to advocate for corporal punishment
in schools.
In schools. Apparently, she feels that mtoto wake ni mtukutu, and that the only way that she's going to reform this child's behavior is through corporal punishment. And there's a question I asked you when you were growing up.
We were thoroughly beaten.
Were you in your Roshwad?
Vibaya sana. Extremely beaten. Top shotter. Top shotter. I tell you, my brother. You are beaten. You see, our mothers were terrorists because you don't shower. The only thing they knew is slippers. You don't talk, slippers. You are sent to, you spend time, slippers. So people were beaten so many times.
The only way they knew
when you're told to smile and you smile too much, you're also beaten. If you're told to cry and you overcry, you're also beaten. Now, surely, there was no single day in African woman's wife's home or woman's home that you'll be doing the perfect thing.
I tell you what, my experience was rather different.
Yeah.
It was actually very cunning because my dad is a man of God, okay? So the way he would go about disciplining us when we were kids was like, Dennis, come here. Now, can you go and get me my Bible?
Yes.
Can you open the book of Proverbs? And he would always get these scriptures ready.
Yes.
Spare the rod
and spoil the child.
And spoil the child.
Yeah.
A parent is unreasonable if he does not discipline his child. There's just scriptures that he would pick just like that.
Yeah.
All right? And then he would kind of justify what was following.
Yes.
What was to
follow.
To follow.
Yeah.
And now my question to you is, should we bring back corporal punishment? What are the pros and cons, Charles? What do you think about
my
this?
problem
I know you stand.
You see, me, I always oppose it because of one basic reason.
Right.
It's because the people who are now teaching, sometimes they have a lot of stressors they're dealing with. And for them is a relief mechanism of beating other kids. And they're not using it as a discipline.
Measure.
It becomes as an issue of umenidharau, you feel like I cannot do.
So they can go overboard.
And they go overboard. For me, that's my issue.
Right.
My issue is that it has been abused in the past by some people. But if it is prescribed, like for example, why are you beating someone 30 strokes of the cane? My friend.
That's just stupid.
It's stupid.
It's just stupid and unreasonable and torturous.
If someone says that we are introducing...
Do you remember that? A few years back, we saw a video of teacher, I think, but this one was happening in Tanzania, of a teacher who was slapping a student.
Of course.
And this was so forceful and violent.
It's violent.
To the point where you couldn't be able to distinguish who was the teacher and whether the teacher was fighting his peer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're right. But what about if someone like Christine says it alters immediate behavior?
It does, but remember, I'm not saying, my argument is very simple. If you cannot parent your kids, do not throw the problem to teachers, number one. Because parenting is how you take care of your kids. Your father would beat you, but beat you reasonably. You see, parenting, let me tell you, parenting, kids are beaten in the homes, even today.
Yeah.
But now if you're saying, amekushinda kabisa, then take to approved school. Where now that's the area for kids who cannot be...
Or junior military schools.
Or junior, something like that. But naturally, many parents have really messed their kids on their own. They've, you see the scripture you're quoting?
Yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. That's what they have done. Now they start saying teachers need to help us discipline our children.
Yeah.
My children, I discipline them myself. And I tell them, if you don't do this, you don't get this.
Yes.
It's period.
Yes.
And you must do things according to time.
I think you're right. Listen, in the past, it was seen to be a tool that got students to respect authority.
Yeah.
It was used to maybe change immediate behavior and alter students' behavior. But, scientists have come and discussions have been had. It has now been seen to be unreasonable and unsustainable.
It is unsustainable.
Form of discipline. And as you have also pointed out, people tend to abuse that power.
It's too abusive.
It's too abusive.
It's too abusive.
And notwithstanding the mental and physical harm. Like, man, I was just thinking about one of the students, and one of the teachers that we had when we were growing up, when we were in high school. His name was, the nickname was Hino. And he would get us to, touch our toes, so to speak. You know what that means. And he had this rod. And it has never left my mind. If he found you asleep during prep hours, just dozing off, or not reading, or even just asking for a rubber, and you kind of fell in his trap, brother, he would call you to the staff room, and you kind of started wondering, what the hell? What has life gotten me? Life is so unfair, and so it's a bit stressful, and it was unnecessary. But he really, really earned his nickname, Hino.
But you see, ask yourself that if many people who've been caned, some of them do not even reform. Because it's parenting. I think parenting is, and I always say there are two types of parenting.
It just breeds rebellion, actually.
Yeah, the kind of parenting we call gentle parenting.
Yeah.
Reasonable parenting. They tell you've messed here and here, you'll be beaten.
Yes.
There's also parenting where people do not care. And that's why kids have grown into a rogue society, because the parents do not question, do not ask.
Yeah.
They say what they want. There's no order. There's no way people eat. The table manners is taught from a child when a child is starting
very
to
young.
learn, very young.
Exactly.
All these things are manners. You teach people according to age.
So I think that parents who are witnessing some form of rebellion from their kids, it's just they need to be a little bit more strict and help these kids understand authority without necessarily using strokes of the cane.
100%.
You don't harm your kids.
You don't harm for no reason at all, because
you're right. In the long term, it doesn't help.
It doesn't.
Remember all the
just
gets people to actually fear authority, become very less critical. And it just breeds a society of very strange people.
And that's what I am saying. If you are still thinking of bringing corporal punishment in schools, then you've failed in your own parenting responsibility.
Exactly right.
Just parent right. And if the kid cannot listen to you, there are steps of making kids listen.
Do not parent by using fear as a tool.
As a tool, don't, man.
Because corporal punishment only seeks to instill pain and fear.
Now, they know.
Talk to me.
Many things happened over the weekend. And first of all, let's start with your boxing. So what happened in boxing?
Boxing, nothing much has happened, but
Yes.
there is anyone who is a boxing fan, there's a huge discussion on Deontay Wilder potentially fighting Francis Ngannou.
Yes. Cameroonian.
The Cameroonian.
Ngannou.
Tough dude from
Yes.
Africa.
Yes.
That's being discussed at the moment. People are also airing their opinion on this sort of parody of Jake Paul fighting Gervonta Davis. That's happening. What we actually had on the weekend, as it pertains to fighting, was UFC 320 just wrapped up, and we had Merab Dvalishvili, who was defending his title against a guy called Sanhagen, and then we had the main event was Alex Pereira, who was fighting Ankalaev, and I was very pleased with Pereira. But
Performance.
the fight that took the night was Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree. That was the fight of the night. It was a tough one, but if you love UFC, MMA fighting, I think that was the fight that carried the night. And that's on the world of fighting.
And before we get into other sports, let me tell Kenyans what happened in the Premier League yesterday. Of
Yes.
course, Aston Villa played Burnley, and Aston Villa actually scored 2-1 yesterday. Of course, Everton played Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, which had defeated Liverpool the other week, and Everton defeated Crystal Palace 2-1 again. Newcastle United really thrashed, I'm calling them now bottom boys, Nottingham Forest. And I don't know what Big Ange will do, because Marianki is the owner of that team. I think now he should be sweating. Then Wolves were held to a draw with Brighton, Albion, Hove. And then Brentford, which defeated my beloved Man United, were thrashed by the City, or the citizens of Manchester, 1-0. So it seems that the Premier League is as it is. It has a lot of changes on the table, of course. Arsenal are still top of the table. But I always say, Arsenal fans, the elephant will always come down. When you see an elephant on top of a tree, just know someone has put it up there.
There's no way that it climbed.
It cannot climb a tree. Arsenal at the top of the table is just like an elephant on top of a tree.
So which is the team that has prospects at the moment?
That elephant called Arsenal has prospects this year because they have the depth, but we do not wish them.
Well,
yeah. But
that's because you support Man City.
United, bro.
Manchester United?
Yes, the greatest club in the world.
The greatest club in the world. So I thought that Arsenal overtook it.
Who is Arsenal?
And Liverpool.
Which one? The Goon Squad?
The good. And Liverpool.
The Scousers.
The Scousers.
Have you ever heard how they talk? We're talking to you.
You can actually.
You can't get anything.
You can't get anything.
Maybe Spurs. Spurs have not won anything in 50 years.
So you're saying that Arsenal is the big prospect this league?
They have
this season.
Yeah, but my question is, one of the things I was asking. So the league table looks like Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Man City in the top 5 positions. Then Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Everton, Sunderland, and the great Manchester United on the 10th position. I had to include Manchester United in that list.
Who's the current coach of Manchester United? I'm sure you know this guy.
Amorim. Ball. What are you saying?
Because the last time I supported Man U, it was ages ago, Bana.
My friend,
and you know what? And you know what? Like, it's becoming an embarrassment.
To who?
To myself.
But you see, you cannot change you can change your wife, but not your team. But you don't know that football dictum.
And you can change your wife, but you cannot change your wife,
but you can't change your team.
And if you find yourself changing your teams, then that means you're not loyal to your wife.
You're not loyal to the team. You can not be. Let me not go there. Now, what I wanted to say, is that Man United signed a Slovenian striker. Arsenal signed Gyökeres, their striker. And Gyökeres has played 10 games and they have scored 3 goals. I don't know whether it's a good return on the investment they made. And it seems that what we thought that he will do for 64 million is not what we are seeing. And of course, Man United also signed Benjamin Chesko,
right.
and Chesko has scored 2 goals in the games he's played. So the two teams struggled for strikers, and their strikers are performing below par compared to Erling Haaland, who scored 10 Premier League goals. Now, let's move to, we're going to international break, and there's the English squad has been named, and of course, a Chelsea defender has withdrawn because of injury, and the guy who's withdrawn is right back James, Premier League player Reece James has been withdrawn because of injury, and Man City defender Nico O'Reilly has been picked to take over his position in the national team squad. So I think the games are, as this week we do not have Premier League. This is a rest weekend. So when we come back, we will come back after 2 weeks when the international break is over. And I think that
How long does the international break go for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. There are 2 games to be played in that window. But Harambee Stars will be playing as well.
I'll be looking forward to that one. Who are they playing against?
Let me check whether it's Gambia. I'll just check. I'll find out. But then last week in Kenya, there were Premier League matches yesterday.
They have improved significantly. I love what they're doing.
What?
Albeit we lost to Morocco. I think Harambee Stars has been doing a good job.
Harambee Stars they're playing very well.
They're playing very well.
I really like Benjamin McCarthy. He's really done a good thing with the squad, and there's a bit of professionalism, and then the new guys in.
Does it actually work the same in Kenya, where you have guys who play for Gor Mahia who are playing for the national team?
Yes, of course. Yeah, there are many players from Gor Mahia who are playing for the national team. So it's interesting to see how people are doing checking and integrating. So yesterday there are many leagues matches which were played yesterday locally.
Yeah,
and one of them was Gor Mahia versus KCB Bank, and Gor Mahia won 1-0. KCB Bank is coached by Robert Matano. So Robert Matano has lost 2 games since the season started, and Robert Matano is a born winner. He does not take a losing easily like that. And of course, also yesterday there was another game which was played is Kariobangi. Yes, Sharks, which won against Mathare United. So 2 games which over the weekend. It was very interesting to see how the matches were played locally, but the big one was, of course, Gor Mahia winning a 1-0 in Dandora Stadium. So, gentlemen,
there's a story that you wanted to share with us, CEO.
Yes,
and I think it was a story of Sean Paul. Sean Combs.
Yes, well, we will share it, but I'm checking that we are just about to go to on news, and after the news, we come back with Sean Paul. Sean
I don't think
Diddy.
His name is not Sean Paul.
Sean Diddy.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, P Diddy.
He has gone with a lot of. He's been known with a lot of names. Sean Loves.
You either decide
P.
whether you like Bad Boy or decide you like Death Row. I don't know which one you liked. Death Row or...
Listen, this is... And it was a bit strange for me, considering I come from a society where we don't openly have those types of conversations. We don't openly accept that it's happening in our communities. We don't openly like to talk and confront the issue. And the issue is homosexuality in our streets, in our families, in our communities. So for me, I try to be very neutral on that because of my life experience. Okay? I try not to affront anyone. I try not to make my position known. Nonetheless, I can be able to engage in a discussion that acknowledges there are men who are in relationships and have not come clean. They have not. The term is you're still in the closet.
Yeah.
Right. That's the term, right? Which infers that you're still hiding your true nature. Your true nature could be that you like men, or that you want to experiment with men, and that you have not come out of the closet. So, how do I think about that? Listen, get out of Africa, go to the West.
Leave our society.
Leave our society, because our society is not quite conducive for people with your behaviors. It's just if you want peace, and this is how you can't live in the closet in perpetuity.
Yeah.
At some point it will come out, and you will have affronted and hurt too many people in your circles.
Yeah.
So the best way is find an environment where you can live and do your own things, and you can be yourself in your true nature, in your true habitat, in your true sexual orientation. Okay?
And we are saying that this environment is not good.
Well, it's just not conducive, and that's the fact.
Yeah.
Kenyans are not very friendly to people who are homosexuals. It is a fact. In fact, when it goes to the hierarchy of our laws, you're not allowed to be gay here.
Yeah.
Same as Uganda, same as many other African nations. It is frowned upon to admire your fellow men.
Yes.
It is not something that we find conventional. It's not something that we actually attributed to what we call Western influence of their, promiscuous behaviors and all of that. We think it's some
and
sort
lack
of
of
Western
grounding.
demon.
Yeah.
So in Kenya, listen, we're not naive. This is what we're saying here. We're not naive.
We're not naive.
To believe that
It
we
is
don't
not
have
there.
pockets
of it.
homosexuals running around in the streets of Nairobi or in our community.
Yeah.
We know they're there.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, it is against the law, for starters.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you're doing it and you're in a relationship, well, then you're wasting the other person's life.
Because it's now that's my problem. If you are in a relationship with a lady,
Yeah.
why are you dragging this person into your own life? Why just let her?
I just think it's just safer for people. To be honest, think about it.
Yeah.
It's safer for you to go into a relationship and tell that lady that, hey, in fact, you'll never see me with another woman.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, conventionally the woman will think that, hey, I need to be mindful and fear that this person might be checking out other mamas.
Yeah.
In fact, you're in the most secure relationship. The only difference is that your man is interested in other men, right? And so, have you actually been cheated on? Yes, but I think it's just started at that incipient stage of that person not being straight with you, that he prefers men. Which is sad, quite honestly. It's ridiculous.
Really sad. It's ridiculous
really,
because
it's
why are you dragging people down into a path?
Listen,
and
as
you're
I've told
marrying
you,
someone?
CEO, it is easier for you to
move
keep
out.
it as a lie,
Yeah.
to hide as a lie, than to face the castigation
Of the society.
of the society and of your wife on how people will think about you and how we generally perceive people who have homosexual proclivities.
But what I ask myself is, when the woman discovers or when the man discovers,
Then it's game over.
Yeah. No. How do you go to your family and say, this man who was married to me it's a disaster?
Actually, the other day I was having conversation with a lady friend of mine, and I'm not going to mention names, but she actually told me that she was in a similar situation where she actually has kids. Okay.
Yeah.
And the guy that gave him kids, she found him cheating on her with another man, and it was one of those situations where, it was too disturbing that they had to break up.
Yes,
it was too disturbing because now it's not that this man is cheating on you with another woman. It's that he's actually a homosexual, and it was not brought to your attention, and you couldn't have been in a position to suspect that this person. And that's the thing. It's very hurtful.
It's very hurtful. And I think it's
how does a woman heal from that though?
You don't heal from that. It's something you can never heal from that. It's a curse.
It scars you. It actually can even give you self-esteem issues.
Yes, because I remember for men who have lost, and I know a gentleman who lost the wife to another lady.
Right. Or like in a lesbian situation.
In a lesbian situation. And they were friends.
Although have you realized that as a society, men are less critical?
Yeah, but now the guy
ladies.
couldn't go to the pub where people hang out because anaambiwa kwenda huko.
Ulipoteza dem na dem.
It's crazy, man.
Listen.
Yeah.
If I was that Jama, I would have tried to convince both of them.
To do what?
Hey. So you convince both of them, listen, to hide the shame of losing one lady. Get them both.
Get them both.
Get them both.
Tell them to become.
Although, listen, this is why I'm telling you here. We are just if it happens to men, nobody cares about you that much.
I'm telling you.
But the sad reality is that it happens. People need to be... what we should be talking about is how can these people heal and move forward?
That's what I'm thinking. How do you heal from this heart deep fracture, deep scar that you just realize all of a sudden that this gentleman I'm married to actually is not who he is? Or this lady I'm married to is not who she is.
Listen, the first stigma and the first obstacle you're going to confront is the obstacle of talking to someone a confidante, someone you can be able to confide these very personal details. You're not going to go and talk to your mother or your father, no. So have someone you trust or someone who you don't know completely. Sometimes you can actually go to, like if I had that issue, I wouldn't talk to anyone in Nairobi. I'd probably go and find myself in Thika or find myself in Langata, where I know nobody, but I can find someone sensible and open up. And you might get some solutions. But it's people need that conduit of release and conduit of letting it out there. Because sometimes the alternative is that you bottle that information with yourself and you die in pain. So the best way, I think, or rather the initial steps that one ought to take is find someone you can confide in and share that story. And then number two, the healing process obviously is finding other people who have the same orientation, sexual orientation and sexual likeness like you.
What I think is that people need to really...
I know it's not as easy as said.
It's not easy.
It's easier
but
said
I'm
than
thinking
done.
that nowadays, when you're going to get married,
Right.
or you're getting into a relationship, please do your due diligence.
Yes.
Please find out.
Tempt your man with other good-looking men.
Yes.
See whether he's checking them
Yes.
out.
Just try things. Because you will be shocked that people are doing things because they want to do them, but they're hiding something from you.
Yeah.
So because when now it comes to hit you,
It's too late.
Reverse. It's too late.
There's no reverse.
There's no reverse.
The damage has already been done. You've either been played for a fool.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
You already have a child. You don't want to see this Jama again. It can be very chaotic. So yeah, you're right, CEO. Like people need to. But how do you do this due diligence? You can't, CEO. It's not that easy. Utajua.
Utajua. Let me tell you. You'd rather go.
Let me tell you. If this guy has already
aligned,
especially if he's a guy who is comfortable going for men and going for women simultaneously, he knows how to hide. And he knows you're never, because all he has to tell you, right? If you're the lady, all he has to tell you is like, yo, Jane, on Friday, I'm going out with the boys. Actually, the boys are coming to pick me up, and then we're going to go.
You see what I tell people?
So how are you going to find out? How are you going to...
There's always a red flag somewhere and something which is dropped. There's always a clue somewhere.
A clue.
There must be.
A breadcrumb.
Yeah, there must be dropping somewhere that you... For example, if you're getting married and you're a chick, and this guy has lost it completely in their family.
Right.
And you are being dragged. You'll see the whole family If you see you're getting into a relationship and everyone is saying, oh, wewe too, oh, what, there's no one who is opposing it. You must be very careful.
Yeah.
Probably this guy is past the marriage age, number one.
Yes.
Number two, he has a problem with alcohol. Or three, he is someone who cannot be trusted.
Right.
You see, when you see just heterosexual relationships, if you see you want to date someone and the family are the ones who are driving you, not the man, they're telling you, no, you just come to have our son, or you would marry our daughter. You must know there's a problem.
When it's pushed.
You're being
by
pushed.
Family members.
Yeah, when the family, all of them
and it's
are
not
pushing.
happening organically.
Because the family members, naturally, when you want to get married to someone, they will say, so who is that? Who is they? No?
Yeah.
Do we know their family?
They'll try to investigate themselves.
No, why is him? Wewe mbona unataka kuja kumsichana yetu? And they'll be very rough with you.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking you do not deserve their daughter.
Yeah.
But if they say no, chukua tu. You are being set up.
When you're being auctioned, for the first bidder says, it's already sold to the first bidder.
Up. Is a setup, man. And men must be very clever, and women. What do you see?
But see, when it comes to this relationship matters, listen, what actually drives people, in my opinion, I think it's existential needs, and this one supersede and go beyond just being logical and seeing it from naked eyes, so to speak. See, what drives you when you're trying to be with a lady is you're always going to put that veneer front face, and it could be so good that it might last for years without allowing the other person to notice, because especially if it's something that is demonized in our community, and it is in our community, it's not
totally demonized.
It is demonized.
Totally.
You're not going to come here and introduce yourself like the Uganda person. Why are you gay? Do you know?
Yeah.
You're not going to do that.
You
Pepe onzima omuchelele. You're not going to do that in Africa. You'll get slapped, bana. So if it's something that as a society we have made it such that we are not okay with it, and you find yourself with those types of proclivities, I think it is very easy for you to harness the skill of disguising your real persona or your real sexual identity.